From Provo, Utah, this is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. I am your host, Caleb.
And I am your other host, Joe.
Just the other host?
I am your host, Joe.
Oh, okay, much better, much better.
And Caleb works for me.
Oh, God.
Work, baby.
Oh, I will.
Work.
So this week, as you all know, we're covering the Final Fantasy 15 demo, and it's awesome. But
Type Zero's release a little bit.
Yeah, Type Zero's release was also something that happened, and we wanted to go interview some people, talk to some people about
No, don't give it away. Don't tell them what happens yet.
Fine. There's something about Type Zero that we'll talk about later. Anyway, so before we get going with this episode, though, we do have some reviews.
We do have some reviews, some fantastic reviews on iTunes, United States iTunes.
Right.
And thank you very much, by the way, for giving us reviews. Of course, we read the reviews at the top of the show every week, the new ones, and I think we got 4 reviews today.
Looks like 4 or 5.
4 or 5 reviews?
Yeah, I think we did Astromax as the last one last time.
Right, okay, yeah.
So
we have 4. How many do we have?
Yeah, let's see.
Above Astromax.
5.
Oh, we have 5. Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, thanks, guys.
You're the one next to the computer, so you're going to have to read all of them.
All right, that's fine. So the first one comes from Rue 2017. He lives in the future.
Kinga Rue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Says, great podcast for any FF fan. 5-star review. Thank you.
Thank you for the 5-star review.
So he says, I started listening to this podcast when these guys were doing their FF8 playthrough.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Not
that long ago, actually.
It kind of feels like it's, I don't know, it's kind of both. It's weird. It's like a surreal feeling of, 8 was only 2 games ago, and then I look at my 10 save file, and I'm like, it's a lot of time. Anyway, he noticed immediately that they don't really hold back on their discussions. To be honest, it's actually quite refreshing, and they never let themselves get out of control or off subject too much. Caleb and Joe are playing all mainline FFs in order, and I gotta say, I got mad respect for that, because that is a lot of random battles. I like the increasing production value and the occasional lulls while listening. Keep up the good work, guys.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Rue.
Thanks for the what was it, the mad respect, or what was it?
Yeah, mad respect.
Mad respect. Thanks for the mad respect.
I love me some mad respect. Yeah. All right, so the next one up is by Commander Ike 10, and his review is titled "Just Dandy" for anybody who likes FF.
It is just dandy.
Just dandy, though. I was kidding. A 5-star review. And,
only dandy?
Yeah.
Really?
Really well organized podcast with hosts that consistently try to improve the quality, whether it be audio, info, variety, etc.
Unless you listen to the Final Fantasy 9 episode.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. With each new episode. Almost all of their episodes are enjoyable to listen to, even if it's primarily discussing one of the FFs that you haven't played. Personally, I would avoid the super sexy swinging fan fiction spin-off podcast, which used to be part of this, but they made the good move of splitting that off to a separate podcast.
Was it a good move?
Yes. They also have a pretty active forum for the podcast that makes everything all the more enjoyable.
It's a small but dedicated community.
It is. It's growing, but still, I would say small and dedicated compared to other forums I've seen. If you like Final Fantasy enough to have played more than one of the main series, I think you would definitely like this podcast. You don't have to agree with what they think of each game. I haven't up till now, although I get the feeling I will when their FF10 review comes out. But they always try to highlight the positives of each game as they go through. Just a heads up, though, some of their episode titles may only be about 10 minutes of a 70-minute episode.
That's true.
That's very true, yeah. But hopefully you'll find, like myself, that the other segments and occasional ramblings are just as enjoyable as the main material. They're also pretty punctual on releasing an episode every Monday, with the occasional extra episode throughout the week. I use Stitcher to listen to them, but they beg for iTunes reviews every
Stitcher,
week.
Boo.
So try to make them happy and post a review on here. And if you create a forum account, give it a funny name so they have to read it out loud on the podcast.
Yes, Commander Ike. Hey, so about the Stitcher usage, the reason there's a few reasons to not like Stitcher. First off, we have less people that listen on Stitcher, so don't like Stitcher. Second off, Stitcher takes the audio files that I put up and they cut the quality in half. I think a much better thing to listen to our podcast on would be the Libsyn app, which is the host, our media hosting service that we use.
Right.
And they have their own app for downloading podcasts. You can use the Podcatcher Android app. That's a better app as far as in terms it uses the file that I put up.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
mess
if
with
you're
it.
talking about the, having the audio files, be better, our show quality, has better audio now. A lot to do with it. The Stitcher is just, it wrecks it. It just wrecks it. It takes it in half. And there was one full-length episode that I put up once, and Stitcher cut off 50 minutes of it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So we only had 10 minutes of material.
What?
Yeah. I remember I got an email from, I think it was Sniper912, and he's like, it's weird, it kind of cut off. I'm not sure what happened. And I'm like, don't use Stitcher anymore. Because I looked at it, and it only put up 10 minutes of the 50-minute episode.
That's retarded.
Or the 1 hour episode. Yeah, it was. So, yeah, I'm not too happy with Stitcher because of that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they didn't do it anymore, but...
Yeah, I don't know, it kind of... Yeah.
But thanks for
just
listening.
go on
anyway,
iTunes.
and thank you for the iTunes review.
Yeah.
I know if you're a Stitcher listener, then putting up an iTunes review would be a pain. But,
Yeah, it would.
I
we'll...
would definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll still read it on Stitcher. It's just, it has more of an effect
check it
on
less
iTunes. Yeah, that's true. It's very rarely for me. All right, so the next one is titled Awesome Ness, a 5-star review from Rich NM99. I love passing my time listening to podcasts and love Final Fantasy. So finding a Final Fantasy podcast seemed like a no-brainer. I started off listening to Final Fantasy Union and just couldn't get into it. Too short and newsy. I looked for another FF podcast and found Ultima Final Fantasy and loved the premise of the reviews and discussion of the Final Fantasy games. First episode was harsh and couldn't finish it. That's okay. So I tried out review on Final Fantasy II and was hooked. Love the hosts. I think they're awesome. More than just FF weirdos, but guys who are well-rounded and entertaining.
Are we well-rounded?
A little too well right now, but working on it.
Oh, okay. Fat joke. Got it.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. That's
yeah.
I'm glad you kept on after the first episode.
Yeah, I feel like we have a large drop-off rate if people listen to the first episode first.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that they would imagine, after seeing how many episodes we have, they're like, it can't be like this all the time, can it?
So they click on another one?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. And
I wish they would just look up the newest ones, honestly.
yeah, I mean, with that though, our
Then
7...
be like, where is the show now? And then they can go back.
I mean, our 7 review episode is one of our biggest episodes. It is our biggest episode, so...
I don't mind them, yeah.
That makes me
Any
think.
reviews besides 1 through 3, I'm pretty...
I think our reviews were pretty good still.
They were okay. I feel like we've gotten a lot better.
The format's
doing
better.
games. Yeah.
The format's a lot better now.
Yeah, 4 and up, I prefer.
That was one of my favorite episodes at the time. But anyway, all right, another one here. It's a long review segment, but this is great. Thank you.
Yes.
We love it.
We appreciate it so much.
Yes. I wasn't bitching. That was just... Anyway, long-time listener, first-time writer, blah, 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 cliche, cliche, cliche. 5-star review
That is actually what they say. That's not Caleb being a dick.
No, that's the
Just in
title.
case you-
That's the title of the review. I am a dick, but not in this case. This one is from Arison Photo. Been listening to the podcast for a while now, since right before the FF7 review, and figured this morning was an apt time to finally write a review because I just booted up my PS3 and decided to have a go at FF6. Oh. I have started the series with 7 and 8, and while I own most of the previous iterations, never delved into them quite to the degree of 7, 8, and 10. Only ever went through 9 once or twice. These guys are hilarious and have basically no limit, which can sometimes get annoying when they get tangential, I guess. Never heard that.
Tangential?
but they always get back on topic soon enough. Their in-depth, typically multi-episode reviews of each game are among the best I found online. Wow, thanks.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
These guys do a great job of keeping the fandom alive and invigorating it, and I look forward to their coverage of 15 and beyond. Beyond, in parentheses. P.S. Keep up the minisodes on the theories and origins of various creatures and themes throughout the games. They're amongst the most entertaining, interesting content you do.
Those minisodes on that type of stuff, that was just an August thing.
Yeah.
That was a back to school special that we did last year, and so we had a bunch of minisodes up. We'll still do a minisode every once in a while. It's not a big deal. I mean, we had one just a little while ago.
Yeah.
A 2-hour minisode, by the way.
Yeah.
Like a maxi-sode.
I mean, with those minisodes, a lot of those, the ones we did, we are kind of bringing into the regular show when we're in between games, which is going to be more often now that we're into the
now we have more segments, so it's not just discussion and then questions.
Yeah, and that's why it's difficult to name the episodes, going back to that earlier review, is because the main beef of the show might only be like 10 minutes long, but that's technically the main episode.
Yeah.
That's the discussion portion. That's what it's called. I know it's retarded when we have like a 30-minute questions episode, but I can't just name it questions. You know? We would have too many of them, you know what I mean? All right, so we got one more review from the U.S. here, titled Great Podcast, 5-star review by Splurge1015. He lives in the past. I love to listen while at work. This really helps pass the time. I'm a huge FF7 fan, so that's why I decided to check these guys out, and they didn't disappoint. Don't disappoint. I have worked my way through the backlog and find myself listening to reviews of games I never even played. The news segment has a wonderful theme song that makes me chuckle every time. Keep up the great work, guys.
The one segment that just took the least amount of work. Everybody loves that news jingle.
Yeah, it was really short.
It's the Eris theme and us singing over it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, man, thank you guys for the reviews. I mean, that's a lot of reviews this week. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. It's always a good thing to have some reviews, especially when we complain when we don't have them. So let's get on to our discussion.
Let's get on to our news first, Rice.
But I want the discussion more.
Well, the discussion is kind of newsy anyway.
That's true. All right, fine. We'll do news.
News. Okay, so our first giant piece of news, of course, is that Final Fantasy Type 0 HD has been released. And a lot of people are playing it, and there's been a lot of good reviews about Final Fantasy Type 0. And we're going to get to Type 0 further on. But with that Type 0, those who got the first day release of Type 0, including, we got the Collector's Edition, right? That Square Enix put out. Mm-hmm. We all got a code for the Final Fantasy 15 demo, and we got to download it on our PS4s. And if you had an Xbox One, I believe it was also available there. So everybody's also playing the Final Fantasy 15 demo. I mean, it's a huge week for Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
This last week, and it was pretty darn awesome. But we're gonna get to that a little bit later. There was also some giant news for Final Fantasy 11. For you guys paying attention to this, Final Fantasy 11 is ending its PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360 services in March of 2016. So if you're playing Final Fantasy 11 on your 360/PS2, if you got that giant external hard drive you gotta get in order to play it online, sorry, but in March you're not going to be able to play it on those systems. It's still going to be available for the PC, and they also announced that they're taking Final Fantasy 11 and putting it onto mobile phones, but it's not quite the Final Fantasy 11 that we're used to, is it?
No, it looks pretty different, honestly. It's called Final Fantasy Grandmasters.
Yeah, and it's like a cutesy version of Final Fantasy 11 that you'll be able to play on your mobile phones with your friends. It's still going to be in the world of Vana'diel. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff to gather. I don't know how it's still the same game necessarily, but
I think it'd be kind of a fun concept, though. Just something you can jump on every little while and just dick around
It
in on your
is, dude.
phone.
I thought they were going to take down Final Fantasy 11 for good.
Is that what you thought the news
Yeah,
was going to be?
because earlier on in this week, I was looking for news, and people, Shinru and Void, they were nice enough to give us news on our little area in the forum where we can have news. So this news is mostly coming from them. But I was looking for news, and I found a big announcement for the future of Final Fantasy 11 coming in 2 days, and I'm like we gotta play that thing. Like we have to play it before it goes away. That's what I was feeling, and so then it was like, oh, it's just ending it for the PS2 and 360.
And then I was like, it's on the PS2 still? Good God.
Yeah, it's on the PS2 still.
That's
man.
insane.
So that is pretty insane, but
That thing came out in what was it, 2000?
2003, I think.
No, the PS2, that's what I'm saying. But it's still actively
PS2
online.
Okay.
I'm like, wow.
They have servers for Final Fantasy 11 still up there.
I think they still have Resident Evil Outbreak servers in Japan, too. They had a petition and they brought it back. They brought some servers back online.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's also a game from 2003.
So I'm wondering with this Final Fantasy Grandmasters, and there's not that much information on it right now.
Still early.
There's some screenshots, and of course, they announced it. But I'm wondering if it'll dwarf Final Fantasy 11 and make it really playable.
I would
That's
imagine
what I'm
so.
hoping for. I'm hoping for this Final Fantasy Grandmasters to become, something else. But it's not necessarily they're not necessarily calling it Final Fantasy 11. They're calling it Final Fantasy Grandmasters, and it takes place in Vana'diel, which is the world of Final Fantasy 11. So
Yeah.
is Final Fantasy 11 really coming to smartphones, or is it Final Fantasy Grandmasters in the world of Vana'diel? Who knows?
What they could do with a smartphone to port 11.
Yeah, that's what, because I heard that it was coming to smartphones. That was the first announcement, is that it was coming to smartphones, and then it was going to be called Final Fantasy Grandmasters, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, how? There's no way that a phone can handle that. I mean, there's some good phones out there, but really, Final Fantasy 11?
I think you can play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on phones. It's available.
I'm pretty impressed by that phone.
But it's not as the graphics.
It's
aren't that good.
a laptop that I got a while ago couldn't handle Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah, it's sick.
And I'm like, can a phone really handle this
how
already?
bad was my computer?
Yeah. My computer now can handle it just fine.
Yeah, of
Except
course.
for alt tabbing. Final Fantasy 11 just refuses to let you switch onto another thing.
It's ridiculous. They fixed that though, didn't they?
There you can put it into a windowed mode now, but
Okay.
I'm not sure where on the menu in Final Fantasy 11 to go to do that.
We'll find it.
And then there's a third-party software that you're not supposed to install, but you can, called Windowware for Final Fantasy 11, and that allows you to play in windowed mode. But if you use Windowware, then a capture program to stream the game won't work.
Really?
Yeah.
So we
it's
can't
kinda
use it then.
It's kind of like a big FU, basically. Not allowed to do any other thing while you're playing 11.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. On the heels of Type 0, of course, Shinru pointed this out from a forum someone got a hold of. Anyway, there's this it says here, Final Fantasy Type 0 Hong Kong special event. A group of concept arts from a game called Final Fantasy Type Next have been revealed for the first time. And if you go into our forum where Shinru posted the news for this week, you can look at all this concept art from a game called Final Fantasy Type Next.
Looks like Tabata there.
It does look like Tabata there, but I'm not sure if it is.
It's kind of crappy quality.
Yeah.
Oh no, it isn't. Never mind.
Someone just taking pictures from their phone.
Looked like it at the first one, but the fourth
But yeah,
one.
yeah, there's some concept art for that game. Not sure if Type Next is that Type 1 that they canceled, because they canceled the game called Final Fantasy Type 1, which was going to be a sequel to Type 0, but maybe Final Fantasy Type Next, maybe they are going to go ahead and do a sequel.
Maybe. They love the sequels lately, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is for sure. And you know what? They were talking about, I heard something about Final Fantasy 15 possibly having a sequel already, and it's like...
It's not even out
Yeah,
yet.
it's not even out.
I don't doubt it, though.
Yeah, and so also with Final Fantasy 15 news, eBay, I thought this was funny, so we're going to mention it. eBay has lots of Final Fantasy 15 episode Duscae demo codes for sale. So you can go on there, and they're about half the price of getting Final Fantasy Type 0. So they're like $30, and you can get a a demo code for episode Duscae.
I kind of wish we would have just shared the demo code and just like pooled them in, sold them off.
Because like me and you both got the collector's edition, so we just used one of our demos and then
we could have done it.
Sell the other one.
I didn't even think of that.
I didn't think of it either, but you know what? I kind of want to keep my demo thing. So
yeah,
sorry.
Nah, that's fine.
I enjoyed the demo very much. We'll of course talk about that later.
Yeah.
All right, and
there's also a godly hog status edition of Heaven's Word coming out. Mm-hmm. It's got this. Let's see. Additional content disc. I don't know exactly what that is. Yours in Motion, A Realm Revisited. The game, of course, full game with a cool looking case. A expertly crafted dragon mount figure, and it's pretty cool looking. I don't know if I'd say expertly crafted because we're super zoomed in on it. It looks pretty grainy, but
yeah, well, it's the picture that we're looking at.
I know, it's the resolution. A sweet little collector's edition box and the art of Eorzea, a little book.
Yeah, a booklet of the art and the game, of course.
I always like artwork, little books, but I only look at them like twice.
Yeah,
like,
that's true, don't you?
And then I shelve it, and I'm like, yes, it's amongst my
it's good. I'm glad I
collections.
had the artwork book, yes.
And then there's some exclusive content in there, too, but yeah. Also, the last and awesomest part of the news is apparently with the 15 demo, you can...
I thought the most important part of the news was Final Fantasy 11, but whatever.
Well, this is pretty sweet, though. You can get out of the locked-in area in 15.
Yeah.
They basically have like a little blue borderline that you can't cross while playing the demo, and... How exactly did they get past it, Joe?
You got to run in front of a car right on the border, and then you have to get hit by the car, and you get shoved through the blockade.
Does your party come with you, or is it just you?
It's just you.
Oh, nice.
Your party gets stuck on the other side of the line.
What if everyone got it?
Because screw that party. I was trying this stupid glitch for forever, because you can go on YouTube and watch other people do it. Other people do the glitch. My freaking party guys always like run in front of me or in front of the car so that the car slows down or some shit.
So when it's the prince, they're okay running him down, but when it's
the other party members, they slow down. Well, you have to run so that the car doesn't have time to slow down.
Oh, okay.
And so then you actually have to get hit by the car. Because there's a little animation for you getting hit by the car. It's something you can do, and they honk.
Okay.
But the timing has to be like exactly right, and you have to be right on that border, and then it'll put you out.
Nice.
I tried it so many times in the last 2 days. I cannot get past it, but there are videos of people getting past that border, and there's a lot of stuff to explore apparently.
Yeah.
Including like one of those big dinosaur creatures you see in the lake in the demo. You can get up close and personal with one, and then also underneath that big giant crystal thing in the background, there's a titan holding it up.
Nice.
And so that's pretty darn interesting and cool. I'm wondering why they put it there, if that'll be part of the plot or...
It probably will be.
Yeah, probably just gave huge things away without us knowing it.
Yeah.
There's something under that crystal and no one knows what it is.
Yeah, and it's ruined now forever.
It's ruined.
It's probably a huge plot point.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about it for the news. I want to thank those who submitted news. Shinru and Void, you both submitted news, and thanks a lot. And let's get to our discussion real quick. We're going to go straight into a pre-recorded thing that we did during the release of Type 0.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it when we get back. So enjoy our Type 0 release audio. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if we're going to start the episode right here. We're probably not. Probably going to have like an intro and then go right into this as a segment. But today is March... What's the date, Caleb?
16th?
March 16th! What day does Type 0 come out?
Well, for me, today.
Well, I was hoping you'd say 17th and then we'd be like, oh. But not for you.
No, when you have a podcast, they send it to you early, apparently. A successful podcast, that is.
Okay, so I didn't get one early.
Well, you weren't wanting to play it, so maybe this is their punishment. And they're like, you know what? No, Joe.
Joe gets it tomorrow. I looked at my tracking.
Nice. So
what'd you get?
Well, I got this sweet little book here. It's titled Class 0, 8-4, and then a little 2. And it's got basically character stuff.
84 to the second power.
No, I think it's actually 842. It's like a smaller 2, but not that much smaller.
Okay, so it's just the font.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it, but it's got basically character lists, the class of 842, a little bit of background as to their background, I guess, their style, what weapons they use, their personalities, a ton of different designs for each of the dudes, in various stages of completion. There's the mage with the bloody chocobo that we all have seen.
Well, it doesn't look like he's bloody in that picture.
No, but he's bloody pretty early in the videos from when I was watching with Caleb. And the chocobo, it attacks. It's sweet. It like picks
nice
in the head.
Hey, so is this is just an art book, right?
Yeah, this is the art book that comes along with the special edition. Pretty cool stuff. Also, we got the steel case game cover with an image.
It looks a bit a mono-y.
Oh, it does. Look at that. That looks old school right there. Pretty sweet. Got the Type 0 disc, the Final Fantasy 15 demo that we can't use until tomorrow, and the composer's selection.
What do you mean the demo? So it was a download demo?
Yeah, there's a voucher in here. Valid 3/17/2015 to 3/17/2016.
Oh, nice. So it's valid for a year. You can obtain it whenever you want within that year.
Yeah, bonus, Caleb 2.0, however you refer to him. He tried to run it in today, and he was like freaking out about how it wouldn't let him download it, and then I flipped it over. It says, see back for details, and it just says it right there. Valid 3/17. I'm like, what's the date?
Nice.
He's like, well, that's stupid.
Well, so here's the thing with the 15 demo. I'm just surprised they didn't do a hard copy. I know we knew pretty early on that it was going to be a digital one. But do you feel gypped in any way for it being a download?
Not really. I mean, I'm going to get the disc for the real one anyways, so... yeah. I think it'd be kind of cool if it was on the bonus disc.
Don't you wish they had given out the 13 demo here?
Yeah, I don't even think they had it playable, did they?
There was one available at GameStop that you could play. It was just like the beginning of 13. And I think there was like a Japanese version that some guy around here got a hold of. I'm not sure if it was like something that GameStops were supposed to have, but it might have just been that employee, but I could be wrong about that. So what else we got here?
There's one more item in here, and it's like the tarot cards, whatever, for the summons that they use. Yeah, they're stupid. Not these, but the normal ones in real life. So I don't know if you noticed in the in the trailers, one of the guys does throw cards and shit as a weapon, and apparently they summon stuff with these too. So I got like an Ifrit one, a Shiva one. So Shiva looks right now. It's pretty hot. Some other dude, Diablos, and Bahamut.
Who do you think the other dude is?
I honestly have no fucking idea.
Nice.
Looks cool though, so...
So, you're glad to have it a day early, I'm guessing? Nice little surprise getting home from work?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't play it yet, but I did watch Caleb play a little bit of it. It looks interesting.
Caleb said he got to the first boss.
Yeah, and then he considered it the end boss and just gave up.
Yeah, something like that. I didn't know he even pre-ordered it, because you both got him today.
Yeah, we both pre-ordered. He pre-ordered it before I did. I think before even you.
That's what he says. I don't remember him telling us that he pre-ordered it, but whatever.
I don't either, but it's here, so... clearly he must have.
Alright, so are we going to rip into the Final Fantasy 15 demo tomorrow?
I believe so. I'm pretty pumped to play it. It's supposed to be kind of big, so...
Yeah, you know what else is supposed to be kind of big?
This game?
Platinuming Final Fantasy X. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering, are we going to do a Final Fantasy 15 demo review the same day we do our little Type 0 release thing?
I don't know. That's tough, honestly, because we've been saying that we were going to do the 15 demo right away and give everybody our thoughts on it. But a Type 0 midnight release where we're talking to people and getting like their opinion on the show would be a great episode. So, I don't know.
So we might have to wait a week before our Type 0 or our Final Fantasy 15 thoughts?
Probably. I feel like this might be more important than the 15 thoughts. I know that sounds ridiculous because we bought this fucking special edition, the game for the demo for the most part, but that might be how it ends up being, so...
I think I agree. I think we might be waiting till next week to do the 15 demo review.
And that'll give us some time to really thoroughly go over it, too. Just play the hell out of it, you know?
Correctamundo. All right, let's get to a midnight release. All right, so we just went by the Springville, Utah game shop. There is a midnight release party that is supposed to be starting 20 minutes ago, but there was only one guy there. So we haven't yet interviewed anybody, but we're going to go hang out with a friend and then come back in an hour, and hopefully there's more people there.
Yeah, hopefully, or else this is probably not going to happen.
We'll just take the one guy and be like, "Can we talk to you for a second?"
Yeah. That'll be really awkward.
It would be. So, yeah, I'll check back in a second. It's a sad day today. We went to where the midnight release party of Type 0 was at GameStop. There was only one person there, and we decided to go to Walmart instead to look for some stuff. We'd probably wait about an hour because we assumed, people would show up later. But it was 11:30, and we came back to GameStop, and Caleb, what was it?
Empty. Empty as hell. There was one car, and it was the same car that was there when we got to Walmart like 40 minutes earlier. Very disappointing. I was when we called them up and they said they were having a midnight thing, I figured, oh, that must mean they have enough pre-orders or something. And then, no, apparently it doesn't. And the thing is games always come out on Tuesdays. So, it's not this random thing where, oh, it's a Tuesday, it has to be a one-off. It's probably because it's a spin-off and because it's a weeknight. And everyone's just like, I'll just get it tomorrow. Final Fantasy XIII's release, which Joe and I both attended, not for each other at the time or anything. Same GameStop, busy. There was 40 people at least.
Oh, there was 100, dude.
Was there really that many? Maybe once the game started, when it got down to crunch time, yeah. And I bought the game, I pre-ordered it at the Provo GameStop, and they were closed, and I bought it again at the Orem Run because I was like, hey, I really want to play this tonight. But here's Joe.
So this is a seriously disappointing release for Type 0. I do kind of have a theory, though, because you could order the bullshit edition from Square Enix, which they were really pumping those out, right?
Yeah, they were.
What was it, 10,000 copies they had to get pre-ordered?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, so, and all those, the bullshit edition of Type 0, the day one edition that you could get the Final Fantasy 15 demo on, I think a large percentage of the people who would have bought it here at the GameStop probably bought it online. What do you think about that, Caleb?
I think there's a strong possibility of that. I mean, the benefits to that edition were pretty awesome, especially considering Caleb and I got it a day early. I mean, that's a pretty awesome perk. I don't know if that was intentional or what, but it's there.
And Dylan, you said you looked at some reviews of it earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dylan, you said you looked up some reviews on Type 0. I mean, what were you seeing there? I mean, do you think this release would have been something bigger?
Had it gotten higher scores?
Perhaps.
Yeah, the reviews were mostly positive, from what Metacritic was saying anyway, based on the critics on there. Yeah, I think there would have been more people had there been a higher score overall.
What score do you think it would have to get in order to get 1 million people there?
Based on personal preference, I would say at least a 9.
At least a 9? Dylan, that's almost a perfect score.
That's pretty high up there, I agree. But it is Final Fantasy.
It is Final Fantasy. I'm just so surprised that this release was so bad, at least in this area. Maybe, I'm assuming other areas are probably having bigger releases. There's at least got to be a GameStop in LA that's pretty full right now. just because, there's more population around there. We did go to a smaller GameStop, maybe up north in American Fork. They have more people. I don't know, Dylan, since you kind of came along with us to go to Walmart as we waited for more people to show up, what do you know about Type 0, and do you plan on purchasing it at any time?
I know absolutely nothing about Type 0. If I'm being honest, I know nothing.
But yet you looked up reviews.
I did, just for you guys.
Just for us?
Just for you.
Did you want to, point out bad reviews to us? Because I know you like to do that.
No, I just wanted to show the overall score. Just to give you an idea.
It's not a bad score. I mean,
it's not really a bad score. I don't know. Caleb, what do you think?
I think it's decent at the very least right now. I'm not sure what Crisis Core was, but I feel like it was probably around there, and I thought Crisis Core was great. So, reviews, whatever.
I don't know. Since I did have a friend contact me who'd never heard about or never played a Final Fantasy, and he was like, "Hey, what do you think of Type 0?" And so I thought that was kind of an odd comment coming from a guy who has an Xbox, an Xbox player, just asking me about this Type 0 stuff. Because usually it's Sony players that play Final Fantasy. But because he said that, I assumed that it was going to be this huge thing. But I guess we'll find out later on, when everything is said and done, just how well this Final Fantasy actually did. So yeah, kind of a super disappointing release. I was hoping to see a few people there, more than one car and one person who apparently, I'm guessing the GameStop employee probably just gave him the thing. It was like, look, no one else is showing up. Here's your copy of Type 0. Yeah. So anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Tell us how good the game is, because we got a while before we review it. So, let's get to whatever the next segment is in our episode when we record this on Saturday.
Yeah, enjoy the rest, I guess.
Now, Caleb, I know we said we were going on to the next segment. Who knows? I might just cut this part off and put it right in the middle. But I might not. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointing is this to you?
1 being low on disappointment, or 1 being low on...
Well, I was asking how disappointing it was, so thus 10 would be the most disappointed.
I'm probably going to say a 7. Pretty disappointing. I mean, I'm excited for the game. I didn't really play very much of it. In fact, I didn't play it at all. I didn't even put it in the system, but I watched Caleb Craig play a little bit. And if he plays it, it's probably exciting at the very least, because he never finishes anything in this world. And I honestly thought there was going to be at least 20, 25 people there. I really did.
Yeah, we were going to try to interview some people and talk about Final Fantasy, but there was only one person there. We didn't want to go into GameStop and be jump on their party, And so if there was only one person, then it would be obvious that we're just coming in to go interview some people, which I don't think it would have been that cool for the GameStop employee that was there. So we didn't end up doing that. Unfortunately, when we came out, it was just closed up. It was barred up. It's not even midnight, and the place was just closed. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed too. I'd say about a 9 on my disappointment scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 9, definitely. I got you to stay up late. You're gonna go to bed an hour later at least. And I feel pretty bad about that, so I just hope you know that I'm sorry.
It's okay. I get to sleep in a little more now anyways, because Caleb doesn't work at 7:30, so...
Oh, you and Caleb switched schedules?
Kind of.
Alright. Well, I am excited for that demo. I hope my mail comes in a little earlier than it usually does. I'll probably check around there, around 4 o'clock or something. I gotta write some more of my movie tomorrow, though, so I guess I got things to do until then. When are you gonna play the demo?
I'm thinking right when I get home. I've got work till 4:30 or so, and then I'll probably jump on and download it Give it a shot. Yeah.
So like right when you get home tonight or after work?
After work, I'm going to bed.
After work, you're going to bed?
After work, comma, I'm going to bed.
Okay. All right. Tonight you're going to bed. So you're not going to play the 15 demo tonight. I know you're very tempted on letting me just take your Type 0 and we can just switch when mine comes in the mail.
I don't know about that.
So that I can play the 15 demo tonight? No?
Would you really play it?
Yes.
Oh, maybe your mail should have came in today.
Fuck you, man. All right. Now we're going on to whatever's next.
All right, see you guys. Well, that sucked. I was pretty disappointed in the release. I expected like at least like 30 people or so, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why you would have a midnight release for no one pre-ordering the game at GameStop.
I don't know.
It's so odd. 13's release was so huge.
It was same one, same town. I mean, we were both there.
But I guess Type 0 is not quite the event that a mainline series Final Fantasy is.
No, definitely not. And I even then I expected 20 or so people at the very least.
Yeah.
But one.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It was sad.
It's true. We got our copies. I in fact got mine early. So
Yeah, you did. And we all just heard that too.
Again.
Yeah. Nothing like a little recap.
Yeah, I love recapping it.
Hey, so you played the demo of 15, right?
Oh, I played it.
Definitely played it. I'm wondering how many of our listeners have played it. I hope a good chunk, because, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I feel like some of them might be being difficult with us for the not playing the Type 0. And I can see where they're kind of coming from, not wanting us to play a new game that's come out in the series, new, quote unquote, but
It's
playing
not
them
really
in
new.
order.
It's not really new.
It's a port, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I see where they're coming from, but at the same time, 10.
Yeah,
10's
10
a
is
great
on.
game.
Well, real quick, what are you doing in 10 right now?
Right now in 10, I just got done playing hours of Blitzball, and I don't have to touch it again ever. And so I'm basically going through trying to kill all the Dark Aeons.
How many have you gotten?
I've got, let's see, 4.
You've got which ones?
I got Ixion, Shiva, Valifor, and Ifrit.
Okay.
Taking those 4 out.
You're like 2 weeks ahead of me on this stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, too.
Right now, I just started doing all the other trophies. I've been going for them. I think I got like 4 or 5, like within the last week or 2.
Nice.
And
that's a lot, considering
right
10
now,
doesn't give you anything.
Right now, I am capturing monsters, and I think I'm about halfway through capturing 10 of each monster.
That's a lot of work.
It's so much work. It takes so long, and I've also played like a league and a tournament of Blitzball, and I've gotten, I think I'm like 2 or 3 games away from getting Waka's second limit break, and you need to get all 4.
Yeah, for this trophy.
4 of his overdrive abilities to get a trophy. So I got to play even more Blitzball after that. The Blitzball thing, I finally figured it out. Still hate the motherfucker, admittedly. But, just I got it, and now it's like too easy. And so it's like 10 minutes of just boredom.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Each time you play a Blitzball game.
You saw what I was
have to play
doing.
10 to win a league and like 3 to win a tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, and they reset, and it's random on like if you get your your new reels or whatever.
Yeah, it's decently high percentage though. Once we get to where we're at,
It makes me want to choke. I just want to kill myself, dude. And then that stupid lightning strike thing. I figured I got to the place where I'm supposed to, where you can like spam it.
Mm-hmm.
I got up to 147 once, and then like 149 another time. And I always die in the 140s. Like I always get hit, and it just makes me want to it's like 10 minutes wasted.
Yeah.
Like just going back and forth in a circle in this fucking place and pressing X.
Yeah, it does take time, and I mean, but
I don't know why that's a trophy. It's such a bullshit trophy to get.
It is, but I mean, once you figure out the timing, it's pretty easy, honestly.
It's
Of course, I spent
147 easy.
I spent like 2 hours before I got to that cheap place, just getting used to it and trying to do it in another spot. And then I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna find this spot for sure now," because I thought I was in that area because it matched the description on the forum, the tactic you might need. But then I found the other one, and I was like, "Okay, this is it. This is the spot." This guy online showed me where it was and spammed it, and I think he did like 350 just to make sure he got it. I'm like, how could you mess up so bad in your counting that you like have to do 150 more? But whatever. That one is a ridiculous
That
trophy.
lightning strike thing is just it's bullshit. And so what we're considering doing is, because I got the Albed spheres that are missable and Schweiss did not, we're considering trading trophies. So he'll get my Albed spheres if he does the lightning shit for me.
Primers, I mean.
Yeah, the Albed primers.
Yeah, we're tempted. Not sure what
Pretty
we're going to do
tempted,
yet.
because
But
otherwise Schweiss has to replay the game like 20 hours in.
yeah, and then sync my primers and then get the trophy,
Right.
which I would hate.
So he might just use my file. I don't think it's that big of a deal. They're both bronze trophies. So
Yeah, plus I've played the game enough times that it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah.
you guys can suck it up. That's what happens.
So we played 10 a lot this week.
Yes.
And then we played the 15 demo.
Oh, yes.
And I played it before you did because for some odd reason you put it off.
I just needed to grind through this 10 stuff. I really did. And I forgot to download it the first day.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, how did you feel about the combat in it? I mean, it's not anything like Final Fantasy.
No, it's a lot like Kingdom Hearts.
It is, which
Except
is
that you
not
can
a surprise.
hold down the attack button. And
You don't even
it,
have to press
does
it anymore.
combos.
You just hold it.
Yeah, well, it's better than like destroying your thumbs going
Yeah.
over and over again. It's more tactical because it's really based upon how you use your environment and reacting to the enemies, instead of button mashing the attack button over and over again, which is a cool concept, and it works really smoothly in the demo. So the battle system for Final Fantasy 15's demo, you have your three other party members, the other people traveling with Noctis. And they're doing their own thing. They're attacking the enemy in their own way. And you can heal them, and they can heal you if your health goes down to 0.
Yeah.
Or I think if it just gets low, they can heal you, assuming they're not busy, which they always are. And there's no real menu system except you can flip through your specialty moves that use up NP.
Yeah.
And so that uses up MP. You can they had a few things on the demo. You could do a Dragoon jump if you press the triangle button. There's like a drain blade, Tempest, where you like spin around. If there's a bunch of enemies, it's really useful.
The Drain Blade is like a blood sword stab
right,
kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's pretty cool looking.
And so basically the combat, you hold down the X button when you get to an enemy. If the enemy runs away, you press X to warp to them, which if you've seen the trailers, where Noctis kind of like zooms around through space and time.
Yeah.
In this blue blur, that's what it is. He's warping to a place. It's like some special ability that he has. So you can like move from one place to another really quickly. You can also, in the demo, you use your environment to defeat the Bahamut. Not the Bahamut. Is
The
it
Behemoth?
The Behemoth, sorry. And you can warp to certain objects to do certain special things.
Yeah, and warping out of the battle does give you time to heal up and stuff like that. So it's got its tactical advantages as well, not just cowering from the enemy. You get a little
and you
chance
can
to
warp to like dodge enemies' attacks if you're pressing L1 and the X button. And then you can also parry and then do counter attacks. But you got to it'll give you a little warning light where someone's about to attack you with some big move. And then when they're coming down on you, you got to parry it.
Yeah, you got to dodge and then parry.
It's a really kind of tactical system. It's really similar to Kingdom Hearts with like the triangle button as the special moves. And then of course, there's an attack button. But then it also adds that extra element of parrying. And the fact that you can like change whatever special move you have.
Yeah, it's definitely it's very different from the entries we've seen thus far as the combat system goes. I feel like it's like
the combat,
a love child between 12 and Kingdom Hearts.
It is a love child
How it
between
feels.
12 and Kingdom Hearts, definitely.
Which is great.
A lot of people are comparing it to Skyrim, but I really think they're only comparing it to Skyrim because there's a bunch of rocks and you can climb up them.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like
Whatever.
it too, but I don't know. Hopefully it's as good of a game as
open.
Skyrim.
It's open. It's really open, but so was 12. It's not like Skyrim did an open game first, or Oblivion or whatever.
Yeah, it's more open though. It's really
more open than 12, yeah.
Yeah, which is scary, but
And it's cool, and obviously there's going to be hunts in 15.
yeah, we saw some nice little wanted posters.
That's what the whole demo was about, was a big hunt.
Yeah, which I'm excited for.
So yeah, I bet you are excited for the hunts. You gonna play the hunts in 13?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to platinum 13.
You're gonna try to platinum 13 also? You're on a platinum kick?
Yeah, I love it. I only have 2.
Can't platinum 12.
Nope.
It's too bad.
I know. Or else I probably would have, or at least gotten very close to on the PS2.
So you wake up and you're in this tent, and there's a really annoying alarm going off with someone's phone. And your 4 characters, apparently their car broke down.
Yeah, they wrecked it somehow.
Yeah, and they had to take it to a mechanic shop, and they can't pay for the repairs. But they try to figure out a way to pay for the repairs, and it's by doing a hunt in the area. It's by hunting this giant behemoth.
Yeah, which destroys you if you try to fight it legitimately, but there's a way.
And so you're kind of just left to go look for clues to get the behemoth, and then eventually fight the behemoth.
Right.
Which there's some seriously cool stuff in the fight, like the behemoth fight thing. But yeah, when you're first put out into the world, you have to go through this like 10-minute tutorial on the battle system, though. I remember that. That was annoying. I was like, I just want to get to it. But then you kind of need it.
Yeah, you do.
To figure out how everything works.
Problem I had is I took off for a couple hours. My PS4 turned off, and I had to restart it. So like all that tutorial stuff I did twice. I was
nice.
Like, God, I already know. I just suck at the counter. I'm gonna have to accept it. Just go. Let me pass. But
yeah, so you have to look for clues of Bahamut, and every time you go past Behemoth, I'm gonna call him Bahamut over and over again. I'm sure. When you're looking for clues for Behemoth, there's these little videos that happen every time you find a new clue. And then you finally find Behemoth, and there's like a part where you have to climb under him, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like hiding from him, and then you have to follow him and through the mist, and he can't be seen by the Behemoth, which is something I've never seen in a Final Fantasy before, was like the sneaking around thing.
Yeah.
That's like never happens in
That's kind of cool, though, so you can avoid those big dudes if you don't want to mess with them, like Marlboros or anything like that. If you see one, if you can like kind of hide.
Yeah, you can duck under stuff. That seems to be a very important function in Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, which makes it very different, but it's an interesting
ducking
twist.
Under things. Yeah, it's become an action game.
Yeah, for this one,
it's an action role playing game. It's not so much turn based anymore.
Yeah,
not for this entry.
It might be refreshing. I mean, I'm pretty pumped, but yeah, you kind of sneak behind the guy. He gets back to his lair, and then you basically set him up. So he's kind of sleeping up on top of this rock, right? And you got to kind of jump up there and stab at him a little bit.
You don't have to stab at him. You just have to walk close to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
stabbed at him.
I warped onto him and like stabbed him, and I was like, yeah. And then he like backhanded me and did a ton of damage to me.
Then you got to like warp onto the scaffolding that's up in the air. And then you and your friends, of course, you go in, you try to trap him, and then you do actually have to fight him.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. He runs in there and he's chasing you, and you kind of warp out of the way, and he runs into this gas tanker thing, and you kind of shoot it. The blonde dude does, and it blows up, and this guy gets rocked, and then Noctis kind of jumps onto him and stabs into him, and then he kind of collapses, and then they're like, oh, sweet, that was easy. And then he gets up, and then he starts destroying him.
I knew what was going to happen. Caleb's like, I thought you told me he was in pain, and then he got up again.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. And then if you went through the cave part, that's an optional area, you get a summon. And
yeah, so if you played the 15 demo and couldn't find Ramu, I'll tell you exactly how to get to it. On the east side of the map, the southeast side of the map, there's a campsite, and you can see a little trail going off to the side. Follow that trail, you'll find a cave.
It's very linear.
Go straight through that cave. It's a one-way path. Honestly, there's like a couple places you can go off of, but anyway, it's all back to the same path.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a pain in the butt, so you got to be decently leveled to go through that cave. But decently, I think probably about level 20.
Maybe. I don't think I was quite that high.
You were level 20. I saw it.
Oh, was I?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
you
was
level
I.
up like crazy. So
So was I when you get experience bonuses in the demo. And there is a level cap. It's level 99 in the demo. And then you go up through the cave, and then you touch a tree, and then it explains how to use the summon. You got to get to 0 HP, which is... There's an HP bar before the HP bar. There's like a...
it's kind of when you reach critical status and you can't really do anything.
Much when you're at 0 HP.
You can use a potion...
And go back up,
Yeah, and get back up or get healed by one of your teammates if you're close enough to them and they care at the time.
Yeah.
But
in order to use the summon, you have to be at 0 HP, and then you hold down the X button, and then Ramu will pop out. And I just used Ramu on Behemoth and killed him instantly.
yeah, it's amazing.
And it's the greatest summon animation I've ever seen in my life. Caleb, can you think of a better one?
No, I haven't played 14, so I really don't have anything else to compare it to, but it was awesome.
Yeah. The summon is ginormous.
Yeah.
If you haven't played the demo and you have no way to play the demo, I mean, look it up on YouTube. It is insane. It is insanely huge. Like, he just, like, the entire sky just goes, like, crazy. There's lightning strikes everywhere. And then, like, this big, Ramu, as we know him, comes out. And he, like, grabs Noctis and holds him up in his hand and then, like, does this giant spear move and just, like...
Yeah, just wastes the land below.
I am so excited for the summons in 15.
Yeah, dude, they're going to be sick.
Like, I don't hardly ever use the summons in any of the other Final Fantasies, but in this 15, it was like... I'm sure they won't be as useful as he was in the demo. I mean, that's a lot of damage to do. And it's not like, 0 HP and then you'll just win the game.
Yeah, hopefully not.
So,
There's probably going to be stuff that's more difficult that you can't just kill instantly, is what you're saying.
Right. I'm saying that, and the summons might be not as easy to get a hold of and stuff like that. But still, that summon animation was like the greatest animation of anything I've ever seen in Final Fantasy.
It was pretty sweet.
And man, it is so cool. And on top of that, yeah, as we were saying in the news thing, you can exit out of the area if you can get the glitch, and then there's like there's a Titan thing, which I'm assuming is going to become another summon also.
Probably Titan.
Yeah. And we've seen those other trailers where there's like a Leviathan in the background.
Yeah, where you're like running up
and it's like huge.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that might also be like, it might be that big. Like it's huge. Everything in this game is gigantic. And I am so excited now.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped after playing that demo. I mean, it doesn't really feel as Final Fantasy-esque as the others.
Disagree.
Oh, well, as far as the battle system goes, it's really different, but I don't think that's a problem. I think that's a nice, refreshing break from
Each battle system is a new thing.
Yeah, but this one's
not the first,
very different.
I can think of 3 other mainline series Final Fantasies where you only control one character, so that's still there. The only thing that's different is that you can hit right when you press a button.
That's quite different, though,
Yeah, I
compared
know.
to...
It's a big deal. Like, the menu system is gone.
It's still there.
Yeah,
but
you
it's-
can go into your menu and use a potion or an antidote or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you can, of course, cycle through your special moves, but, other than that, the menu system's gone.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm just saying it's pretty different, but when that summon came in, I was like, man, this is going to be sweet.
Yeah.
I want this game.
The summon is very Final Fantasy, but it's like Final Fantasy pumped up on steroids.
Yeah.
Like the old Godzilla movies and then the new American Godzilla movie.
It's like that.
It's like that much of a difference in terms of just how freaking huge the summon is.
Yeah.
And just how like jaw-droppingly awesome it is.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you didn't get him in the demo, or if you don't have it, like Joe said, you got to. You got to look at it.
You gotta see it. It's incredible.
Yeah, and the graphics look pretty damn good for it being 720.
Yeah, it's 720
right now.
And not everything's at its full capacity. I know it was at 30 frames per second, and there was some frame drop when there was a lot of things on screen. But of course, they're still developing it. They're gonna fix that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not gonna come out like that.
It's gonna be a great looking game.
Yeah.
And the last part of the demo, you go to fix your car, and then she's like, no charge, and then which is a total waste of time.
No, you still pay her.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
she was
the
saying something
upgrades
about-
are no charge.
Oh, the upgrades are no charge.
So she fixed it, and then she gave you more stuff.
Okay. And
She's got huge tits too.
Cindy has giant tits. And I'm not sure if the characters were reacting to how hot Cindy was. Did you feel that?
Yeah, they were.
Okay, I thought they were. Like, they were kind of like,
hitting on her.
Yeah.
Everyone but Noctis. I think even he was.
Yeah, I think it was too.
Maybe the British guy was the only one. He's like, he's married already. He's just like, damn it.
And then of course you're on your way. You keep driving, and then there's a little trailer with some Final Fantasy 15 concept art.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and it gives you little audio clips of the story. And it's all kind of confusing because I'm not sure what any of it means, but
yeah, apparently your dad dies, and
Noctis,
which we knew.
Noctis is
I feel.
holding the legacy of his people.
Yeah, and apparently he was reported as dead too.
Yeah,
so I think there was like a coup where they're just completely wiping out the whole family, but they didn't get him for some reason.
And there's like these parts in the demo where these Imperial Magitech soldiers come out. And
yeah, it's a lot like 12.
That's obviously
got to
be part of it where they're searching for Noctis.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be some kind of political kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you're hiding from
hopefully
the people. It sounds like it's gonna be fucking awesome, is what it sounds like.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm excited.
I am very excited.
This is gonna be a good game, I think.
Yeah, I know Shinra on the forum was talking about how it seems like it's gonna be like one of those big landmark Final Fantasy games, and from the demo itself is better than half of them. So
yeah,
I'm pretty darn excited for this.
Yeah, and I feel like with them tailoring the gameplay,
it's a lot better than 13's demo. I can tell you that.
Yeah, oh yeah. With them tailoring the gameplay to this kind of faster paced action RPG, that might bring a lot of people into the series too.
Right.
And I think that's one thing they're kind of going for. And then also breaking the monotony for us, old timers that have been playing the hell out of them for years. Yeah.
We're not old timers, but yeah, we've been playing it for a while.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, there's people that have been playing it since it came out, and, but whatever. I think that's a lot of it. They're drawing a new crowd, and I think it's going to be a big game, and it's going to be a good game.
And they're really they're trying to make it as much of a next-gen console game. Because, I mean, the games right now that are coming out for the PS4 and the Xbox One and for the PC, they're all kind of still in the past a little bit, and they're really trying to. I've read interviews with Hajime Tabata. They're really trying to push the system as far as it can go.
Yeah.
As far as the quality and stuff like that. Like something they talked about things that they couldn't do on the PS3. They couldn't do a continuously like their landmass was too big.
Yeah.
For the PS3, and they're working on. Oh, what was it? It was like destructive maps. So your map will change based upon new areas that you find, and the map would just, change based upon what you're doing in the game, and that you're able to destroy things, and that would also be part of would react on the map. Apparently they couldn't do that on the PS3. Like to the extent that they wanted to.
Probably wouldn't look as good with the destruction.
And it's going to be all this, like, you can't ride the car in the demo, and you can't ride chocobos, but that of course will be a part of the game. There will be an auto car driving function and a manual if you want to. You can drive the car yourself. There's also going to be other forms of transportation like trains and stuff like that you'll be able to get on. Mm-hmm. And for those who are not aware yet, it's kind of a futuristic but modern as in modern as in today.
Modern technology.
That's what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
So like people are driving cars and stuff, and there's gas stations, and it's a very American gas station.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And it seems in that sense it's a lot like Final Fantasy VIII, where it's very, in the now.
Yeah.
Kind of. But there's of course Magitech soldiers and flying Star Wars ships coming down, dropping them off. So obviously it's not all modern day stuff, but I'm pretty darn pumped. I think it looks more like Final Fantasy than other people think, just because of 8. But.
No, I think so too. And the summons and stuff like that all does play a part in it.
Yeah. And the chocobos.
Yeah.
As soon as there's a chocobo, it's a Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Except
I thought
for
it was
dungeon.
I thought it was a menu system.
It is the menu system, but there is a small menu in it.
It's true, it exists, so it's legit.
Yeah, so it's legit. It's really, really close to Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, that's how That's how I felt when I was doing the combat, but it's pretty fluid, and I'm pretty pumped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as I've said.
So please go explore the demo if you haven't already. So exciting. Really. I'm not going to be one of the naysayers about this. It is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Let's get to our question segment.
Questions for us. We would like to hear from you. You to our forums. Or contact us on Twitter. Get on and ask your questions. We'll answer them within a week. This is the question segment. Ask and you will receive.
Okay, so just in case, I think Caleb said there was someone that messaged him about, the order of the questions that we answer. And the fact is that we take whichever question was asked first and we answer those. At least that's what we're trying to do. And then we pick about 4. We pick the first 4 oldest. And then we choose an order from there.
Yeah, unless, of course, it's one that's on a review episode that has to do with a particular game, and then we'll save those for that review.
Yeah, exactly. So in case you guys are wondering, why we didn't answer your question or something like that, or why we answered, someone else's question instead, that's why.
Yeah, it's just an order thing.
Yeah, it's an order thing. So don't take it personally if we don't answer your question the week that you ask it. Even though there are some questions, especially on here, that are kind of time sensitive, so I do feel bad for not answering them, but yeah, that's just how it works.
All right, so the first question is from Gammon Stark, Knight of the Round. He says he asks us if we're going to break the demo, which is of course what we talked about that we didn't do. He says if you do, it would be cool to hear what the demo is supposed to show you first. Then another segment or show on what you can find out by jumping the blue line.
I couldn't jump the blue line, man. Otherwise, we would do that.
Yeah, so we probably won't talk about it unless we can get it done, but we'll probably just look it up online and talk about that, which we did.
Right. Okay, so this is one from Shinru, and he says, how hyped were you when you started playing the Final Fantasy 15 demo, and how hyped are you after playing the demo? How hyped, Schweiss, before?
Pretty hyped before, more hyped after, I'd say.
I agree. Totally in the same camp. What was your first impression the first minute you actually got to play the game? Was it, oh fuck, this is awesome? Schweiss?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, there was a tutorial right at the beginning, so
yeah,
I wasn't thinking, oh fuck, this is awesome.
There's nothing exciting about a tutorial.
Once I left the tutorial, which was a short tutorial, it wasn't a 20-minute Final Fantasy VIII tutorial.
Yeah.
Or a 12-part Blitzball tutorial, which is completely worthless, and someone else can explain Blitzball a lot better than fucking Final Fantasy X can.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad, and it was kind of fun to fight the guy, but yeah, once you got out there and it was like this open expanse, it was so cool. So cool. It was awesome. Did you get Ramu? Yes. Did you beat the behemoth?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you do any other stuff? Certainly leveled up. I think there was another tiny little side quest about getting some like magicite or something.
I don't know. I got a bunch of it.
Yeah.
But
or it was some kind of object near the lake that you had to get.
Oh, I picked that up. It took like 2
it was
seconds.
a tiny little quest, and so that was kind of fun. Yeah, I walked around a shit ton just exploring.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for a big open world game where I can explore and find some more stuff, especially if there's, more summons, which I imagine there will be hidden in these areas. I can pick up more of them. I mean, it'll make the exploration totally worth it.
Yeah. It was. There's always little tiny things to grab. It was pretty cool, and you could sell those for a lot of money.
Yeah.
At the end of the demo, I bought 99 potions because
nice.
I was like, well, if I keep playing, I'll have plenty of potions. Did you like that they brought back the classic the classic victory fanfare? The da na 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 da 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 da. Yeah, I did like it. It was kind of surprising. Honestly, like I went to camp and then this elevator music plays when you're camping.
Yeah.
Otherwise, forgot to talk about the music in the demo. I think the music that has come out from Final Fantasy 15, besides the elevator music that plays when you're camping, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I love the music. I think it's by the same composer who did the Kingdom Hearts scores, so it's good music, and
It's big.
I think he outdid himself with the 15 stuff so far.
Yeah, it's great. It's a big soundtrack, and I always like big, loud pieces that are epic.
Yeah, epic sounding.
Goes along well with
symphonic
the
scores
epic
are
scale.
the best, yes. So yeah, it was nice that they brought it back. It sounds a little bit synthetic. I don't know how like what instruments were used in it. It sounds a little weird, but I'm glad that it's back. We haven't had one since 11 maybe.
12 had the
Did
fanfare.
they use it in 11? Oh yeah, 12 did have it. You're right.
After you do a boss, it would do the...
Yeah, after you did a big boss, it would do the dun 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 dun. But 13 didn't. 13 was like blah, ba, 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 would be its victory thing. And so
Stupid.
did you have any trouble with anything, or was there anything you didn't like? Trying to fight the behemoth without Ramu is pretty rough, I say.
Yeah.
I haven't died from him yet, but
I didn't even try.
Got to 0 HP and used the summon.
I got to use 0 HP immediately.
Yeah, but you can fight behemoth again at the end of the demo, like if you finish the demo, and then you go back into the game, and it'll say behemoth is now roaming the wetlands or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or the marsh, whatever it is. It's down by the lake. Then you can fight him there again. And I tried fighting him for reals last night, and he's got a lot of health. Even more than those big yellow beast things.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I mean, I didn't really find anything that I didn't like about it. It's just different. That's nothing wrong with it. Every game has been slightly different in some way. I think they all build on each other, so I think this is going to be great. Next question from Batman. He asks, well, he says, the FF series is known for breaking new ground in terms of RPGs. However, there are other concepts from different RPG series that FF could adopt to improve their games. My favorite RPG concept is from the FF-related Chrono Trigger and its New Game Plus. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to play through an FF game, but don't feel like going through the grind again. Sometimes
there's like a New Game Plus type feature in Lightning Returns and in 10-2. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know. I haven't played 10-2.
Okay.
I'd have
So I
to
know
beat it
you
first.
can only, it's pretty much you can only 100% the game if you already have a save file on another game and then have to restart it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Which is a trophy.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I want to relive a story or maybe gain new insight into an FF game that was confusing at first. FF13, anyone? I would really like to
Just
give...
read the hours long of data logs. Come on.
Yeah, you'll be
You don't want to
fine.
do that?
I'd really like to give FF12 another shot, but when I think about all the hours I dumped into that game and really took away nothing from it, I realize I would rather shave my nuts with a rusty butter knife. Nice. If there was a New Game Plus in some FF games and my levels/items could be carried over, I might like to retry some of these games, which I may not have enjoyed in the past. What concepts from other RPG games do you guys wish were in FF games?
I like the New Game Plus idea. I think some of the FF games do actually use that concept.
They
though.
do. Some of the older ports to PlayStation have it.
Okay.
Like 1 or 2, I think, has one.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never did it, but
That's a good one. I don't know. Caleb, can you think of anything you want specifically from another game?
I don't know. It's with 15. I mean, we're kind of getting some of the other elements from other entries, like
The open
Kingdom
exploration.
Hearts, yeah.
The more action-oriented type battle system. It'll be at least a nice little break. I think I think I do believe the rumors that 16 is going to be more traditional.
Yeah, I would buy it too.
Yeah, so
I don't know. Most of the RPGs I have played are Final Fantasies, but of the other ones I've played, I don't really have anything that I'm just dying for them to bring over necessarily. I'm happy with whatever they come out with for the most part. I mean, there's going to be stuff that's going to piss me off about it, but for the most part, I think they're all, improving or at least changing enough to make them interesting. I can't really think of anything that I would want to
Final
pull.
Fantasy usually takes cues from other RPGs. I mean, it's done it since the beginning. It copied
with
Dragon Quest and
Yeah.
just put like the plane, instead of looking directly at the enemy, you see all the characters and it's on a side view. Like that's what they changed.
Yeah, which is iconic,
Yeah.
certainly, but
And it stayed in the series till 7. That side view,
yeah.
But they're always changing. They're always improving in some way, and I don't know. Really, yeah. We had a question last week about was it last week where the things Final Fantasy is gained or whatever as it's changed.
Yeah, I think it was last week or the week before.
It was last week or the week before. Yeah, there is going to be a certain point where it's like, well, Final Fantasy is an RPG. That's what a story heavy RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless of course you go back to 1, in which case it's not a story heavy RPG. I mean, for the time it was, but definitely not now.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. I mean, with 15, it does, like we talked, it does look a little more like Skyrim, and Skyrim is more action-y.
It looks like Skyrim because there's rocks.
You've never played Skyrim, though, so you don't know.
I've watched hours of Skyrim being played by you and Caleb.
I haven't touched Skyrim. I haven't started a
it
game
was
in it.
Dylan and Caleb.
I played Oblivion.
I have watched hours of it, though.
It's a great
Skyrim
game.
just looks like Oblivion. Why don't people just say, hey, it's Oblivion?
I kind of hope 15 is as good of a game as Oblivion and Skyrim.
Yeah.
They're great. Yeah, they're fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't doubt it won't be. But...
There's nothing that I would want to carry over from other RPGs that I played, like Fable or Fallout or anything like that.
Yeah.
That I can think of. Because I love Final Fantasy because it's Final Fantasy. But I mean, there's certainly... I don't know. I kind of like in Fable where you can, there's so much choice in that game, where it's like there's 2 different paths to take. So like the multiple ending type thing, I know they did it with 10-2, but I think that would be an interesting way to go. But then it wouldn't be Final Fantasy. It wouldn't seem as Final Fantasy if it took
it would be weird.
If it took that choice thing. So I have no idea. I don't know how to answer this question. I'll be honest.
I'm gonna say I'm fine with them. I don't really have anything that I'm dying to bring over.
Right. I think other games could use some Final Fantasy stuff, like the more story and things like that. I'll tell you what, they brought something in from Half-Life into Final Fantasy 15, which is when you go into an area, you're still in control of your character while the story's going on around you. Or at least slightly in control of your character in 15.
Yeah.
When you're like crawling through stuff and the behemoth's looking over you, it's kind of a cutscene, it's kind of not. That concept, I think, was popularized with the first Half-Life game. And, of course, now almost every video game does it. And that's something that Final Fantasy just barely brought in through this demo. And so that was something I think is pretty awesome. There's going to be a lot less pre-rendered cutscenes in 15 because of that. But they still say, a lot of story stuff will be in pre-rendered cutscenes. So
that's good. We'll have some really, really good-looking stuff.
I'm sure it will. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that, but it would be interesting to see what the other people say.
The numerous endings is cool, and that's something in the Chrono.
I'm not sure if I would want that in a main series Final Fantasy though.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the problem with that would be
it seems so out of place.
Yeah, and we'd have to play a ton of it to get everything.
It's true, and they already got Chrono Trigger for that.
It's true.
All right.
So the next one is from Amerline 1, a samurai with Giltos. He says, it has been some time since I posted a question for you guys. These are a few simple ones. We will see.
We'll see how simple they are.
Yeah. 1, will you guys be doing a Spotlight episode anytime soon?
Well, Schweiss, do you want to do a Spotlight episode anytime soon? We usually do them right after the reviews, and we didn't do one after 9.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That is.
I didn't think about doing one, I'll be honest. Look, if there's a guy there's a Spotlight section on our forum. If there's a guy that you really want to hear about, the Spotlights are for people behind the series. If there's someone you want to hear about their story and how they are behind the Final Fantasy series, just give us a name and maybe some links to some background information on them, because those episodes are big planned episodes.
Yeah, they are.
I would certainly love to do a Spotlight soon.
Yeah, we will be.
We still have Nobuo.
I know, that's
which
the
we
one.
should do after 11, because 11's the last game.
Yeah, that's one I don't want to do yet. For partly that reason, partly because he's just got a giant amount of stuff, and it would be huge.
Yeah, I think we should do it after 11, because that would be perfect. Because 11's his last game that he scored fully.
Right.
And so...
nice.
Well, he didn't
homage.
score 10 fully either, but
whatever. Yeah, last one he was involved with heavily, I guess.
Yes.
All right, number 2 here. What happened to the mini episodes? Would be nice to see them come back, even if it's just once a week.
Once a week. That's the episodes. Once a month. Once a month makes more sense for that.
I don't know. With the minisodes, I mean, we did do the commentaries for a while, but I don't know. We
slowed down.
Yeah, we slowed down on the commentaries.
They're gonna come. The commentaries aren't minisodes though. The commentaries are commentaries. we have three different types of episodes. We got main episodes, minisodes, and commentaries. The minisodes, they're kind of whimsical kind of things when we decide to do a minisode. They're just spur of the moment type things.
Yeah,
we don't plan minisodes except for that August stuff.
Yeah, then that we've made into main episodes or segments or whatever, you know. So the answer is maybe. We don't really have plans though. That's the thing is.
Not for minisodes.
Yeah, at least not at this time. So. Yeah.
I mean, certainly there will be minisodes in the future, but we don't plan them.
Yeah.
And we don't really want to. I mean, minisodes are minisodes because they're exciting and they're.
Yeah, it's something that comes out in the middle of the week that we have to do a little
we want to surprise you with it if we have a minisode out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was thinking about that whole Final Fantasy Type 0 adventure that we had. I was thinking about putting that out as a minisode.
But it didn't ever happen.
But, just having a longer main episode is fine.
Yeah.
At least I feel that way.
Yeah, I do too. And that was one of the plans when we did it, but then again, we didn't get any interviews or anything, so it kind of went to shit. So, all right, question number 4. I know it has been said, but for those that forgot, like me or just in general, do you plan on doing an episode for the FF15 demo? Yes, we do.
This is it. Also, are either of you getting so into FF10 to do the super boss penance? Isn't the super boss Nemesis? I guess they're both super bosses.
Yeah, they both are.
But you got to do penance first, don't you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
For Nemesis, you have to do all the original bosses. And he's not an original boss because in the regular 10, you don't have the Dark Aeons to kill to then bring penance.
Yeah, we're planning
existence.
on doing it because we're both planning on platinum it.
We might not do it because of how much.
We might not platinum it by the time we got to do our 10 review.
Right.
But since we're playing 11 for like only an hour and a half, 2 hours a night,
we could have time to work on stuff.
Time to work on platinuming that.
And we might play more 11 than that. I mean, it all depends.
Still got a movie to make, but still.
Yeah. So yeah, yes is the answer. We do plan on it. We will see how that plan goes.
On it. Oh, on that thing about playing 11. Now's the time to install 11, guys. Go onto Steam and get like the super pack. Actually, I think it's like $10 cheaper on Amazon. So go into Amazon.com, get the Final Fantasy 11 with all the expansions and everything in it. It's like $30, and you'll have all that stuff. Now's the time to install it because we only got like a few more weeks before we're gonna be playing 11 every night. At what time, Schweiss?
We're thinking around 9-ish.
We're thinking around 9 o'clock.
Mountain Standard Time.
So whatever time that is for you guys, I think it's like an hour behind for our guys to the west of us. So California. I know
1 to 2 hours for the east.
Most of our listeners are in California, so that'd be 8 o'clock over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then to the east of us, 10 or 11 o'clock. So, please join us. Every once in a while, at least. We're going to be playing it every night. I think you should be a black mage, Schweiss, and I'll be a white mage.
Okay.
That way we can kind of BS the whole game, because those are apparently the super OP guys.
All right, yeah.
Just so that we can do it, just me and you, in case no one wants to join us. But yeah, install 11. We're gonna be starting as soon as our 10 episode is out. We're gonna start playing that 9 o'clock every night.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you join us. And there is a TeamSpeak that we use for the podcast that's open to anyone. Just get on the forum, look down. There's the TeamSpeak server and the password.
Yeah, so you guys are welcome to use that whenever.
Please. Yeah. There is a private room for just me and Caleb, but
yeah.
When we're playing 11, we definitely want you guys on there so that we can, talk about it while we go.
Yeah, of course. And speaking of 11,
yeah,
we do have
speaking of 11, a lot of 11 tonight.
Yeah, we do have a question from Void. He says, "Sell me on FF11." He says, "I know you guys are rapidly approaching FF11. I played the game for a few weeks around the time it launched in the US. I hated it. I had already been an MMO player for years, and the MMOs I was playing were all better and more approachable than FF11. Now, years later, I've played even better MMOs than I had played back then. He's currently invested in 14. What can you tell me about FF11 that might convince me to go back and give it a shot? What makes it unique? Why would I choose it over a modern MMO instead? Because we're playing it. And because you're going to be hearing about it for a while, and you might as well help us get through the game. Because honestly, if we can get through it faster, I mean, we'll probably do optional stuff, but
I don't know. We got the plan is mathematically broken down where you have to get to like level 75. You got to do like 1.5 levels per day and one mission every 3 days. To get in 2 months to beat the main quest of 11. Now we're gonna try to get as much done as we can right at the beginning. Because I'm sure, because everything's going to get, a little bit harder, I'm sure.
Yeah, that or, I mean, if we have extra time, I don't see why we wouldn't do a little bit of the extra stuff, depending on how the game is.
Yeah.
So mostly it's just a fun experience, kind of some, listener interaction with the host.
Certainly,
as well
if
as
anybody
other
does
listeners.
join us, and I hope they do. I think we're going to have some live streaming video, Schweiss, from your end.
Yeah, I'm planning on it.
Okay, so we're going to try that out. I don't know. Do you guys want us to use Twitch or YouTube? That should be something we should ask our people out there.
Yeah, I say Twitch because it's bigger and
it's bigger than YouTube.
It's better.
No,
it's
not.
better. It's bigger than streaming games than YouTube is. That's what Twitch is for.
Right, I know, but still, we already have a YouTube account. That's the thing.
Yeah, but who cares? Not that many people is the answer.
Of course, you could pull up some new listeners if you use Twitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I don't know, it's a fairly friendly thing.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll probably put a question.
Well, I'll put a question on the questions from us to you.
But I'd say the biggest part is to play with the hosts and to hear our rage towards each other.
I'm sure we're gonna be pretty pissed at each other all the time because that's what we usually do when we play games.
Although with this one, it's a little less. Yeah. I would imagine.
I can't sell you on 11 Void. Look, I've played it for like a couple, like 2 hours, I think, in total, and it is a rough game if you hit the wrong guy. It is just horrible and it's brutal. You lose experience if you die.
It's a mainline. So
but
you should play it.
It's a mainline Final Fantasy, and you got reviews on all of them except for 11.
Yeah,
and you should play it with us. That's all I can say.
It would complete your.
And would I choose it over a modern MMO? No. If there was an MMO I was going to play, and I do play it every like 5 months, it's Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I can't sell you on it except for the fact that it's just a check mark. It's got to be something I got to play.
We don't know how long it's going to be around, so I mean, it might be nice to have that experience, even if you didn't. Yeah. If you're not going to enjoy it, try it out again.
Grandpa, how we're on Final Fantasy 32 now. There was once upon a time when they put the Final Fantasies online. Like, how was that, Grandpa?
And you won't know.
And then you won't know. You'll be like, it's the one I didn't play.
Yeah, and you will be far less of an awesome grandpa than either of us in that scenario.
Okay.
We got one more question here. This one is from a new member, Gilgamesh, a warrior.
Not that new. They're a warrior.
Yeah, he's still pretty new.
Pretty new. Yeah, he's pretty new.
So he says, the question's titled "Favorite Recurring Boss Enemy Rival Fight," and he's asking which one is our favorite. Could be a single game, such as FF7's Genova, FF8's Seifer, or the entire series like Ultros, which is really just 6 and 14. Yeah, I don't know what that... What do you think?
Favorite recurring enemy / boss?
Ultros is a bastard. I know
yeah, Ultros.
He's a lot of fun though. Fighting him, it's pretty entertaining. But
actually, the behemoth. They're usually the enemies that you fight in like final areas of the Final Fantasy games.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually worth a lot of XP, and they usually got a lot of health, and they're usually pretty brutal. But it is kind of fun taking them down.
Yeah,
and I loved fighting the behemoths in 13, and I liked fighting them in the older games, and 15 was awesome. So
okay,
all right, so far, the demo. Schweiss, you got a favorite?
Well, I don't know. Probably my favorite enemy is probably the Cactars. I think they're sweet.
Oh, you're damn right. Yeah, the enemy.
They're really tough to hit.
1,000 needles.
Or 10,000 if you go to the desert area.
Yeah.
It's sick. Yeah, I would say they're probably my favorite recurring monster. I mean, they started in, what was it, 6? Yeah, it was 6. They were like, I can't remember what their name was. It was something messed up, but it was close to Cactar. And then they evolved into the Cactar that we know. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy them. I think they're awesome. Their little dance is sweet. And it's kind of fun when you find one, especially when it's a giant one and it, rips you a new one. It's always enjoyable.
Say one more time.
1.
Okay. All right, so that's it for the question segment, and that is it for our episode. Make sure you go and follow us on Twitter at UFF Podcast. Support us on Patreon. We got equipment to use Skype.
Yeah, we're going to be inviting probably Mecha Messiah again if he responds to another episode and just chat about Final Fantasy, come up with something awesome. And I mean, that could be something we could do for more listeners.
Yeah, I want an interactive question segment where they, record their questions.
Right, we're getting there.
Phone line or something like
we're
that.
getting there.
And occasionally having guests that we don't necessarily have to have come over here to.
Yeah, we only have a few that we're willing to do
So
that.
we got the equipment for it now. We do. It's not ordered anymore. It's here. It's here. It's right next to me.
Yes, in that box.
And we're working on the next things we got to get is a digital recorder and then a new mixer.
Yeah.
Which I know I've been talking about the new mixer for a while, but I got this other stuff instead of the new mixer.
Yeah, it's okay though. I mean, the mixer now is fine.
It's fine. It doesn't have as many inputs as it needs.
Yeah, but the biggest problem with it before was the background noise from the computer, but mine's a little quieter, so that
so
not as big of an issue.
Yeah, and the fact that I can use Audition now a lot better.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, if you support us on Patreon. We got to get to the $75 mark. We got a new person on this week. What was their name? It was like Jake.
Yeah, it was something Jacobson.
Something Jacobson. Yeah,
I think.
Thank you.
Sorry, man. It's
Don't worry, you'll get an episode dedication in the future.
Yeah,
and someone else, Sam Croft, will also get one in the future. But
guys, it means a lot. It's really helpful. Helps keeps the show going for sure.
It does.
We're poor.
We're poor. The show costs money to produce. We're not paid for it.
And the games are expensive.
The games are expensive.
I've spent a lot on these
Admittedly,
things.
we're not using the money from the Patreon to buy anything for ourselves.
No.
It's buying stuff for the show. So.
Right, and that stuff is way more than the games, sadly. But I don't know, it's still a lot of fun. So yeah, check us out there, and then follow us on YouTube.
Yeah,
we'll try to do
I think
something.
It's youtube.com/Ultimate Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's really simple.
Think it is. Also find us on Facebook, like us on Facebook. All the episodes for Super Sexy and for Ultimate Final Fantasy, they get posted on there as soon as the episodes come out. Also, if you're on Patreon, you get you donate at least $1, you get the episodes a day early.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet. It's not only a day early. Sometimes it's like a day and a half early because we really just post it on there when we're done.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of depends on us.
And then we time it to come out Monday morning.
Correct.
On when we put it online. So yeah, thanks guys for listening, for asking the questions, for giving us iTunes reviews. You're awesome. Have a good week.
Yeah, enjoy the grind.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. The show was produced by Joseph DeGollier and Caleb Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph DeGollier, parodies and clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show, and look forward to the next episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast.